Hello all, welcome back again to the Demo channel. It's been a very long time I made any videos regarding anything. Life has got busy, and from the thumbnail, you might have clicked the video looking for 30 days to get the MRCP part 1 done. Well, here I am with mixed experiences that I have had in the last few months and intense 30 days before the exam. And a disclaimer, MRCP Part 1 is definitely not an easy exam. Do not go just thinking 30 days will be fine. But I'm saying 30 days is doable, but MRCP exam is not an easy exam. And things that we will discuss in this video could be a list of things. First thing, to set a target. Second one, thorough research. Third, make a strategic plan. Fourth, have a study buddy. Fifth, emotional well being. Sixth, work life balance. Seven, why accuracy is important for any exams. Eight, last 30 days before the exam. So let's dive into it. First thing, setting a target. You know, while you're watching this, you are someone who's going to prepare for exam or the MRCP itself. And from my experience, setting a target is an essential thing for any exams, especially for exams like this. I wanted to give part 1 last year, September 2025. But then my training started, my life got busy, and when I wanted to aim for September, I was not able to. But what I did was I just got the past medicine subscription. I was solving roughly 10 to 15 questions a daily. You know, later I aimed for January 2026. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but I kept solving questions every now and then. By the end of actually December, I was having accuracy of just 45 percentage of 4,000 questions I solved in past medicine. And that's not entertaining here because what I spoke to my friends and then they said, this is not a really good number. You need to get 70% accuracy in past medicine. Then I had to push it forward to May. So then I kept target May is the one. I'm going to give that in May because I'm in internal medicine training. I need to get this done before the end of this year. And that's very crucial for me. Unfortunately, due to several reasons and crisis in the life that can happen to anyone, and I feel that it's sometimes normal, it's sometimes abnormal, but whatsoever, I was not able to solve questions January, February, March, and half of the April. So that's like 3.5 months I did not even touch. But that did not change my target. I still had a target of May 2026. So what I did during those period was to do thorough research. Why thorough researching is important? Basically, I've completed FNG exam, I completed PLAB exams, I've come all the way here for the MRCP now. All these exams are like MCQ based. And for any MCQ based exams, there is a strategic plan. And for that plan, you need to do research. So I did the same. I spoke to n number of people, like with my seniors, my colleagues, and everyone had a different approach to it. So I thought I would collaborate and then have my own, and that seemed to be reasonable, and that worked as well. So my research was okay. Which platform, how many days, and what to do. Okay, so I utilized different resources as I always do it for most of the exams. So this time I went spend more money. I know it's a lot of money, but I wanted to get this exam done on time. All I told was like, if it is not this attempt, the next attempt. All again is an experience. First thing is, I got to know about this MRCP syndrome. So this is basically a platform where they provide video lectures, and in the video lectures, you have different subscription of like past medicine, past test, BMJ, RCP. and they have exclusive man box course series, something like that. So they intensify and make and kind of an abstract of all these resources and try to solve questions live and then give reasoning to all those questions and answers, which was like helpful. That gave me extra edge in to be able to have an idea. Okay, what sort of approach I should be giving for these exams. Second of all, everyone told me to get pass test because the accuracy of the exam is very close to pass test. So I aimed, okay, before the exam, I need to solve 10 papers, past papers. That was the aim. And then the other thing was to solve past medicine once again. Although I have solved for 4,000 questions, my accuracy was like really bad. That was like 45. And then it improved to 55 in the January, I think. So now I know I need to do better. So that's the research I did. So third thing, that strategic plan. So I've already told you the plan itself. Like, what was the plan? So the plan was during this time, and probably I was thinking from April and May, just 60 days I was thinking of doing that because I know I was going through some really difficult thing and then the crisis happened. So I just have like 60 days that I need to work on that time for the exam. So these were the plans. Watch the MRCP syndrome videos whenever possible, as much as I can do. So the crux of this MRCP syndrome is basically the man box course, and also whenever you're tired, like after work, you just like turn on the video and then kind of passively learning because someone is actually discussing the questions, and then you try to grab the knowledge out of that, and that helps sometimes. Third thing, they have this beautiful revision video. Revision video was like the best I had like in the last 10 days. I watched that and then that gave me an extra edge in the exam as well. So emergency syndrome was a valuable resource to me for the given time I had and pass test. And the aim was again solve 10 to 12 question pass test papers, and that would be like roughly 1,000 to 1,200 questions there. And the aim here was to achieve the accuracy of like 65 percentage, which was required for the exam that time. So that was the aim. And then again to solve past medicine from scratch. But this time in past medicine, I was aiming 70 percentage. So the next approach is having a steady buddy. Where it's really difficult for us to work, take care of yourself in the busy life, and then also prepare for exams. To manage all these things, you need someone to put that thing in your mind, like, are you preparing, are you doing something for your portfolio, are you doing something for your training? And I had this very good friend, Dr. Hari. He's another IMT, he's from England, and then such a lovely company. Every now and then he used to check on me whether I'm solving questions, whether I'm doing okay. Such a sweet person. Also, a few of my other colleagues, like in my IMT, they do check like whether I'm solving questions, whether I'm giving this attempt. I'm grateful to all those people and also my family and friends who've been checking on me constantly, whether it's doable for me, whether I'm okay. And many people like said, don't push so hard. If you're not able to just leave this me and then give it later. But I wanted to push it harder because I wanted outcome one in my IMT one. So also during the second year, I can freely prepare for part two and the basis. So thanks, Dr. Ali. You mean a lot to me. Um, Fifth one, the most important part, emotional well-being. I know of all the exams I've given, it usually be myself dealing with the exams, but this time it's quite different. I have so many things going on. When you're in the training, when you're like doing like a post graduation or training wherever in the world, your life is actually busy because the 9 to 5 job, and extended hours out of hours and the night shifts, and for you to manage the daily routine, and then for people like who are in the abroad, like we have different sort of things to deal with, the family, and also to deal with your like um, I don't know what to say. It's a lot. It's a lot. So despite everything, that is something you should not always stick to. And then you have to avoid that from your training, and then you have to focus on the training, which is quite impossible sometimes. But people have been doing it. So my concept of approaching all these exams is like, if anyone can do it, you can do it, I can do it. So that's the goal. But what it comes is the cost of emotional well-being. So you might earn a lot, you might have good resources, you might be healthy, but if your mind is not right, then nothing is going to work. And that's true indeed. It did test my patience a lot. And later I realized, if you're not able to focus, you just have to drop it there, do something, distract. And distraction could be of lots of other things like doing yoga, doing painting, going for a jog, running, cycling, swimming, badminton, whatsoever, like whatever you like to do, go for it. Just refresh, come back, and you probably might be able to focus 20%, 30%, 40%, and that's more than enough because you were not doing it at all, and then now you have increased to 40%, which is good. And that's the same thing happened to me. During the crisis, I was like really panicking about everything in life, whether like it's gonna work out, it's not gonna work out, what's gonna happen in my life. But one thing was sure, um, all these exams you need to be committed. Even a little bit of effort that matters the most, and because the small ones makes a big difference in the long run, and that happened. So emotional well-being. If you want help, call for help, which is basically call your friends, talk to them, rant, vent out. Sometimes going for a trip, like going for a hike. I love hiking and trekking, going to new places. So do that and come back, sit and do it. You'll be fine. And this worked out. So yeah. Sixth is, sixth one is like work-life balance. I mean, I don't know about in India, like when we do PG, I don't know how that setup would be. I think it's still very similar. Um, but when you're in abroad, and for me now, I'm a bachelor, like I'm single. But I've seen people like my colleagues with the family, with the children, with their children, and taking care of everyone at family, and then also the put training. That's a quite big thing, and they always like try the best. And good thing about the training in the UK is like they try to be flexible. They try to understand your reasoning, why you're not able to do it, why you're able to do it. All these things, and although they're nice to you, and it just in the training you might sometimes feel like, oh, I'm not doing well. But yeah, the work-life balance is crazy as hell wherever you go in the world to do your post-graduation or training. um, so you have to stick to a plan. So the initial plan was to do this, and I would take slow steps and try to complete those targets in the given time. It can be like some days I can solve like 150 questions, some days I can solve just 50 questions, but I try to be consistent as possible, and that helped. And I would say the same to anyone who's got a busy work life, who's got like family, who's got like so much going on in life. Just one thing that is very important here is to give that small effort for a long run, and that matters the most. Talking about the seventh bet here, why accuracy is so important. Of all the exams that I have given, that everyone is going to give, there will be expected passing threshold. So to achieve that threshold, you have to look at the statistics, the trend in the past, and to understand how bad and how good was the scores and what was the passing rate. If you can ask me like whether that matters to you, but most of the time it matters because trying to keep that realistic number will make you push beyond the boundaries. Because if I had kept the passing percentage of 80%, 85%, which is really good to have, but given all the factors in my life, I can't aim that much, I know. So I kept a realistic number. In past medicine, I want to get 70 because I've already done the paper, like I got 55%. So past medicine, 70% is doable. In past test, I wanted to score 65%. And I felt like realistic number because most of the resources, most of the online platforms said 65% is most doable one. So I kept that. And interestingly, in the exam, I got a very similar accuracy. So, which proves that all these statistics do work, and you have to believe them. You have to keep a realistic number. You have to work for it. You have to be like slow and steady, but be consistent. That's very important. So, that is about the accuracy. Why is it so important? Okay, the last one, last 30 days before the exam. So actually, the catch here from thumbnail is like, you can do the exam in just 30 days, but you need to have a basic foundation. You need to have an idea of what the exam is actually. Someone is watching the exam might have taken the exam already once or twice, and someone who's been preparing for this exam like 3 4 months, and now okay, 30 days now, and this is exactly the right video to watch, because the next 30 days before the exam matters the most. So what I did, I wake up, I solve questions. I eat, I solve questions. I go to the bus stop, I solve questions. I travel in the bus, I solve questions. I come back before bed, I solve questions. So I tried the target of achieving 1,500 questions in past medicine, which I did. And I did solve 11 past papers. Like the expected was 12, but I solved 11 past papers. I went to library, I sat the whole day. I do every sort of few banks every day off I got from work, and I watched as much as the videos. So all these things cumulatively helped me actually achieve this exam. So before the exam, I was like not so confident even after getting the exam because the paper was so damn tough. If you go to Reddit, like you can read it like how difficult was the paper. So interestingly, one thing was confounding here was um, from the previous years till like 2023, the paper were like reasonably good, like easy to solve. But then in 24, later to 24 to 25, it slowly become difficult. And this year, 2026, extremely difficult. But what the RCP has done is they have reduced the cutoff from 540 to 450, which is a very good thing to do, because it may sound like a drastic number, but actually, it is basically two or three questions getting wrong would still pass you. Okay, so during those days, it used to be like out of 200, you need to score like 126 plus correct answers to be able to get the 550, because it definitely depends on the cohort of that diet. And from Jan 2026, they have reduced the cutoff from 540 to 450. And what it means is basically you can actually get 120 to 122 questions right in that cohort, basically to pass you the exam. And trust me, this exam is all about passing. Because when I was actually solving and then reading for this exam, it was very nostalgic because it took me back to biochemistry in my med school, like second year, the biochemistry, clinical sciences, pharmacology, which is very important, I feel, but genuinely, I don't know. So all I think is this exam, you need to pass and then move on, because second part is ultimately important because that is basically something more clinical and also the basis. So I think those two is going to be the important aspect of these three exams. So get this exam done, move forward, and please use as much as resources. Talk to your friends. You can also comment down, or you can chat me my email. Always will be available to respond and to help you guys pass the exam. All the very best. Do well. See you on the next video. Bye bye.
Yes, I passed it. I passed it, bro. I passed it, bro.